Hello. Sylvie, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah, you can hear me. Great. All right. Hello, Michelle.
Hello. How's
Hello.
everybody?
Hey, Michelle.
Very good. We have a very special visitor today, Michelle McGuire of Bossy Girl Media. She's going to be doing critiques of websites and Facebook pages as we move into the marketing phase of the Academy. So we're going to just jump straight into it. We're going to let people come in when they do. And we're going to kick off, as usual, with our elevator pitches. So who wants to kick us off? Grady, thank you.
There's a big rush on.
Yeah.
Here we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm Grady Batchelor. I help empower coaches and leaders to lead with coaching and mentoring to transform the world.
Yes. Awesome. Any comments, feedback for Grady?
I love it. It's a very powerful statement. Good. And I love you. I think this might be the first time I've seen you on camera, Grady. You've got a great presence on camera. So we're going to love the video section. Can't wait.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, Sylvie, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Sylvie K. Ebert, and I help chronically ill women. What did I do though? Deal with their symptoms and manage their time to reach their goals.
You've changed it.
Yeah, I'm trying a new one.
Okay, feedback from the group. We've heard Sylvie's a couple of times now. Anything you'd like to share, ask, no? Come on, somebody's got something.
Practice, practice, practice. So you can nail it.
What do you think, Grady?
What is it compared to, I liked what you had. What is it compared to last week? Because you had a powerful one last week.
Yeah.
Well, my usual one is I help chronically ill women live their best life ever.
Yeah.
Do you know,
That one's a
you
little
could
more
combine the two of them a little bit. Like, I like that from last week, and then take some of what you just said about, managing their time and symptoms. So it's kind of like combine the two. So I help you live your best life ever by blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I like that because it tells you what, but also how. Because saying I live your best life, that's like a really big statement, and you kind of go, oh, yeah, but how do you do that? So combine the two.
Anything you want to add to that, Grady?
No, the reason I asked about I guess yes. The reason I asked about last week was because I've been watching your video clips and things, and your video clips really go to the first one. But I like what Michelle said with putting the other part as, how do you do that? This is what I do.
You want to give it a go? Sylvie, we're going to put you on the spot, combining both of them together, just to see how it feels.
Sure. So I'm Sylvie K. Ebert, and I help chronically ill women live their best life ever by teaching them how to deal with their symptoms and manage their time to reach their goals.
I just got goosebumps. That's a very good sign.
Yeah, me too.
That's the one. That's the one.
Great.
It's vibrating at a good level there. Anik's got a huge smile. And well, Jay's not on camera, but he's got a huge smile too. Awesome. Well done, Sylvie. Okay, Anik.
You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Anik Blayen, and I help people going from hassle to bedazzle in an efficient timeline and also to get their desired results.
Also a new one. Okay, how did that feel for you, Anik?
Very warm.
Good on you for putting it out there. Any feedback for Anik?
Can I hear the old one?
Just a sec. The old one was, I help busy people achieve their desired results within an efficient timeline.
It's probably a case of maybe combining the two again, because it's about telling them what you do, but how you help them do that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thanks.
You want to have a go, Anik?
after. Let somebody else go. So
Okay,
I
well,
put
we'll
it
come
back.
Percolate a bit. Yeah.
We'll come back. I've got to write that. I've got to loop back. If I forget, please remind me, Anik. And I was interested, just feedback for Anik. You've never said the word hassle before in describing your ideal client, and that really jumped out to me. Just that's feedback. No judgment there, just feedback. Anybody else want to say, give Anik any other feedback before we move on? Well, yeah, Grady's got something to say.
I thought it was interesting because Anik said about being warm. And I will tell you, I looked at your website really quickly because I've been on planes most of the day. And that was the thing that I walked away with, was feeling that warmth. So maybe in the message, thinking more of that warmth part of it, because you've got the what, it's more of that why of you're doing it from the warmth perspective, I think would make it connect more with people.
Cool. Okay, so we'll circle back to you, Anik. However, please do be present for your fellow, your peers here, and listen to what they have to say too. So maybe just let it sink in, because intuitively you actually do know this already. All the resources you need are within you right now. Atia, hello. Sunglasses.
Hello. We're doing elevator speeches.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Atia Johnson. My husband and I help singles and couples have a more happy and fulfilled relationship.
And she.
Uh-oh.
Such a tease, Atia.
I'm sorry, did it cut out? My daughter called me.
Yeah, that's fine. You get an opportunity to say it again.
Okay. Hi, my name is Atia Johnson. My husband and I help singles and couples have a more happy and fulfilled relationship while changing the world one relationship at a time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. Welcome, Terry. We're doing elevator pitches. Any feedback for Tia?
I like that. It's good.
Yeah, okay. You get the thumbs up from the messaging and branding chick. Well done. Okay, cool.
You know, except one thing, because I have read a little bit about you guys just in emails from Benet, and she uses the word fun a lot related to you two. I wouldn't mind hearing the word fun in there, because I think that's important if that's how you're operating.
Ah, cool.
Okay, so you said we need to add fun somewhere in there?
Yeah, I love what you've got, but if you could add fun in there somehow, because even this is the first time seeing you on camera and I get fun watching you, and you said that to me about you guys. So I think really, I feel like it needs to be in there so people know that about you. I think they'll see it anyway, but if you put it in there, it's kind of powerful because people want to know, you're going to help me do this in a really serious way? Are you very structured people, or are we just going to have fun along the way? So for me, if I was looking for that service and you said the word fun, I'd be like, yes, that's what I want. So
awesome. Okay, yes. Thank you. I love that feedback.
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, I mean, Atia and Dwayne, both of you have been, so like, oh, we're not counselors. We don't want people to think they're coming to counseling. So by using that word, that could really address that.
Yeah, it takes the serious off it. Like,
yeah. Dwayne, do you want to have a go also? Or is he allowed to talk?
I think he may be in listen only. Oh,
here I go.
You'll go. Okay. Hey, Dwayne.
Hello. Hello, my name's Dwayne Johnson. My wife and I, Atia, like to help couples as well as singles have a more happy and fulfilled relationship, looking to change the world one couple at a time.
Awesome. The only feedback I would say is that we get rid of like to help. Just own it.
Okay. All right.
How would you change that to own it?
Okay, I would say, hello. Huh?
Yeah, I think you said looking to change, but it sounded like you said like. So I just changed it to while changing the world, one relationship at a time. But I think in place of while, you said looking, but I think Benet heard like.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow. Okay, I got you.
Do you want to have another go, Dwayne?
Of course I will. Hello, my name's Dwayne Johnson. My wife and I, Atia, look to help.
You did it again.
My name's Dwayne Johnson. My wife and I help couples have a more happy and fulfilled relationship while changing one couple while changing the world one couple at a time.
Cool. Okay, any feedback for Dwayne? Thanks, Dwayne. Anik, is that you?
Yeah, I believe that both, because they were, before it was just for couples, and then last week it was also a lot about the singles, and they were just watching how they would mingle it, but now it's just in one flow. It really resonates. It's nice to hear.
Yeah, cool. Anything else? All right, great. Let's see, who wants, Terry, would you like to have a go?
Sure. All right, let me throw this out there. Okay. My name is Terry Moten, and if you are a woman, business-minded woman, who's been trying to break through to the next level in your life and in your business, but you just can't seem to get the formula right, then I'm here to help. Just lost my train of thought. Then I'm here to help get you from being fearful to absolutely ferocious. Because one woman can change the, oh God, I messed it all up. Never mind. I had it all down. I was going to do so good.
You're rocking it, Terry. You're rocking it. You can go again.
All right. My name is Terry Moten. And if you are a business-minded woman who has been trying to get to the next level in life and in your business, but just can't seem to break through, then I am here to help you go from fearful to absolutely ferocious in my Fearful to Ferocious Business Mastery course, because one woman can make a difference, but ladies, together we can rock the world.
Cool. All right, feedback. Oh, first, Terry, how did you feel?
Once I get kind of in the flow of it, then I'm okay.
Okay. And so any feedback? Well, who has feedback for Terry?
I love fearful to ferocious. I think that's really strong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Sylvie's giving the thumbs up.
I feel it's kind of lengthy.
Yeah, let's see. We've got Anik and then Atia.
Okay. For me, I think last week or the week before, it was shorter, and the fearless, ferocious was more in the middle. Now it's a bit drowning for me, and that was just the power of your message that really
got it.
That was wow.
Okay.
And Atia, anything you'd like to add into that?
So I just wanted to add, I loved it. I really did. I think it kind of sounded like it was a sales page and an elevator pitch in one. And I don't know if that's the route that we're going, because clearly I'm not the expert on the call, but I just, I wanted to know if we should be distinguishing the two.
What do you think, Atia? I mean, what feels right to you as a recipient?
So I kind of feel like what she said last week and sort of on the lines of what Anik is saying, it really resonated well with me, because everyone knows that my attention span is very short. So, and like most Americans, our attention spans is a little short. So a lot of times when it's shorter, it's sweeter, and the message it gets across to more people. I think.
Got it.
Okay. So Terry, Grady wants to add something to that?
I was going to say to kind of piggyback on what everybody was saying, what you said last week, I was really looking forward to it because you were really owning it. Short and sweet and powerful last week. And it's kind of like, hey, Terry, what do you do? Boom, boom, boom. And then tell me more. And then what you just shared was to tell me more.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's definitely I agree with that too. There's definitely a space for everything you just said, but yeah, it looks like it's something you want to read on your course sales page. Yeah. So I agree with what's going around. Welcome, Renard. We're going through elevator pitches. Terry, what are your takeaways from that round?
So my takeaways are to go back to what I did last week, and thank goodness I wrote it down. So.
Do you have it in front of you so that Michelle has the
can I hear last week's? I'd love to.
Sure. Last week was, my name is Terry Moten, and I help women. My name is Terry Moten, and I help business-minded women get to the next level in business and in life by moving from fearful to absolutely ferocious. Because one woman can leave it there. Okay, got it.
Oh, well, you do have that. That other line is good too. Sorry,
I'll read that later.
Michelle, feedback on that one.
Yeah, that's a lot stronger for me because both what Grady and Atia were saying are true. People have very short attention spans, and Grady nailed it perfectly that what you were giving us was all really good, but it was kind of like what you say after someone says, oh, really, tell me more. So leave that bit for when someone asks because it's all really good, but it's too long for the beginning. That one's much stronger for me.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Jay, are you in a place where you can talk? Okay. We'll leave Jay for a second and we'll see. Renard, how about you? Can you do your elevator pitch?
I am, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can we see you? We can't see you though.
I'm like in between connecting from a cell phone to my laptop computer.
All right. All right. We can wait because Anique wants to have another go. We can come back to you if you prefer, or you can go now.
Okay. Just come right back to me.
Okay. Anique, are you ready?
Take off mute. Okay. So I rewrote it with some inspirations from the others. Thank you, therefore. So I wrote, I help people going from hassle to bedazzled, reaching their desired results in an efficient and fun way.
Feedback.
I don't like the word efficient, I have to say.
I don't like either. That's why I put
it feels cold to me. Can you just say that I help you get there in the shortest way possible, maybe? Because it's the same thing, but it's more friendly. And, you know, Brady made a really good point before that when he looked at your website, he got warmth, and you said that you felt warmth, but efficient's not a warm word. So maybe try something like that. But I like that you put fun in there this time. That wasn't there before.
What did you, Michelle, what did you think of, it was bedazzled?
Well, if you're going to use that word, this is just my geeky thing, I think they need to rhyme. So instead of hassle, it's hassled to bedazzled. I think otherwise it sounds jarring to me, but I don't know. I'm not sure it's super strong for me. I'm not feeling it.
I don't have a connection personally with the word bedazzled. Like, I don't know what
it reminds me of the 70s
like.
or 80s when that bedazzler was around. That's where my mind goes.
Yeah. So Anique, what's your intention with bedazzled?
I looked it up. I looked it up. From the hassle is the people are being in a rat race, and the bedazzled is just getting out of that, getting more in the fun state and ease of mind and of life.
Yeah.
So if you have other words or other, welcome. But I would like to put the bridge between the A and the Z.
Definitely.
Yeah. I love the thing. The word will come. I'm not 100% convinced it's bedazzled. It might be. I'm having a trouble like connecting with that word personally. Okay. Would you like to have another go?
Okay. Well, I help people going from hassled to bedazzled. Meanwhile, reaching their desired result in a shorter time and in a fun way.
Can you say the shortest possible time? It's instead of a shorter time.
Let's have it again. Anique.
Oh God. I help people going from hassled to bedazzled, reaching their desired results in a shortest possible time and fun way.
Renard, we haven't heard from you. What do you think?
Sorry, I like I think you're mixing, when I hear the word bedazzle, it's, I don't know what that means. And so it just kind of, I think it's a catchy name where it definitely evokes like a question like, hey, what does that mean? But in my sense right there, what I'm trying to like really comprehend, and it's only because I'm like this linear thinker guy that it's hard for me to like switch. So I'm like, all right, what does like bedazzle mean? So I'm hung up on the term, and I think it'll actually appeal to women more than it will to men as far as that statement. If you were making it an appearance or at least a state or a speech in front of an audience.
Okay.
That's your target market, belief.
Grady.
I got a quick question. I went back to Anique's website, and I was looking because she's got a lot of great stuff on her website, and in particular, her purpose. It says, "My purpose is to support you in reconnecting with your true freedom," and she's got a image on the front that really jumped out at me. It's to be you. And there's something else down here that was talking about truth. Oh, true freedom, and to be the true you, because and everything else on Anique's website really resonates with that whole idea of really reconnecting with who you are, the true you, and I don't know. I just feel like that your message is actually in your wording at the beginning of your website.
Renard's getting really excited over here.
I really like that right there. Just go with that.
Terry wants to add something in.
Can you take people from frantic to free?
Ooh,
that's good.
Frantic to free. That's
just a.
You want to have another go, Anique?
No, I'm going to rewrite it because I'm doing this in 3 languages and English is not my native language. So I'll rewrite it and then maybe at the end I'll pop it out.
So okay, so yeah, just if you want to throw it in at any time, just let us know. Otherwise, we'll be delighted to hear how it is next week. See how cool it is to see the evolution of your peers and how this can really gets massaged and changed. And some people like anchor in quite soon and they just nail it, and then some people need some time to massage it, and then some of the ones who nail it now actually change it later as they get more connected with their ideal client. So it's a really fascinating journey just to see that everybody's really experimenting with this and refining it as you go forward. Okay, have we got Jay? I don't know if you're able to come in or not. If you are, let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on. Okay. If Jay's able to come in later, maybe we'll get his too at a later point. Okay, so who watched, just show of hands, who watched the the awesome marketing strategy video? Yeah, a couple of you. Excellent, excellent. Well done. And any feedback, questions? Anything you'd like to know, share? Are you excited? Just anything before we... Come on, somebody say something.
I'm excited.
Grady's excited. Thank you. Anique, did you have something?
Yeah, no, you in fact, what came to me is that you give a lot of information of all what we are going to get. So I'm very hungry.
Yes. Okay. That was my intention for that video. I always write down what's my desired outcome for my audience first. And that was it. I wanted you to be hungry for more, to learn from these experts who are coming and teaching you this amazing marketing strategy. Okay. Any other questions about the marketing? Sylvie's got something. Excellent. Oh, no, she's just stretching. Okay. This is just your opportunity. My intention with that video was just to get you excited because we're about to transition. Michelle's taking the lead starting next week. So, and that's why I wanted to get her in, set the stage for you a little bit and kick us off really by looking at some of the web assets you've got out there already. So if there aren't any more questions about the strategy or anything you'd like to share, then we might just go ahead and jump straight into that. Does that sound good to everybody? Nod of hands, thumbs up. Okay. All right. So we've got a list. We came up with the list from last meeting, and we're going to start with Anique. Then we're going to go to Sylvie. Then we've got Grady. We've got Jay and Terry. And if we have time to get through all that, great. And if we have time for more, we'll do it. So Michelle, this is over to you. Are you ready to share screen?
Yes, I'll do screen share so we can see. There we go.
Everybody get your pens and papers out, because what we found, we've done this in my mastermind. We had Michelle over as our as a masterclass speaker last month, and everybody learned from everybody's. So she'll do a website critique of one person's site, but it applied to actually everyone's site. So
we can't get onto Terry's site, unfortunately. I just keep getting the same message. The site can't be reached. So there's some issue with.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, it was up last night, I think.
Yeah, I can't get it this morning, so we'll try again. We'll come back at the end and try. But
okay. Well, she's number 5, so we got to start with Anik. Anik's new website is the blog one. Yeah.
So here we are at Anik's website. You've linked to the blog page. Is that because we specifically want to talk about the blog, or do you want me to have a look at?
No, I don't know why I chose that one. Please start from the home.
We'll flick over to the homepage and have a look.
That was an accident on my part.
That's all right. Okay, so I'll just tell you, like, the basic thing with your website is that you've essentially got 5 seconds for me as the viewer to understand how you can help me. So if you can't grab me in 5 seconds, then we need to change a few things. The first thing is I don't see a picture of you anywhere, Anik, and that bothers me. I love your logo, but it just can sit up here at the top. I feel like this big piece of real estate you've got taken out with your logo there, I really want to see who you are. Because if I'm going to work with you as a coach, the first thing I want is a personal connection. And the first way for me to get that is some sort of image of you. So I'd really like to see a really beautiful photo of you right there where this big logo currently is. Let's see. You are unique. You have unlimited possibilities. Instead of maybe making this a list style thing here, because it kind of feels like it takes longer to read, if we could make that one sentence that's essentially your elevator pitch, then that's really what you want to have here. Because think in that 5 seconds, if I can see you, if you can give me your elevator pitch and then give me some sort of call to action, you've achieved everything you need in that 5 seconds. And then I'll go, yep, I'm going to scroll down further. But if I get to here and it's a little bit confused, I might not bother and I might click away, because, you know, we all have very short attention spans. And once we get online, even though we start with a purpose, we have shiny object syndrome. We go, oh, look, a notification's popped in. Someone's contacted me on Facebook. Let's go see what they're talking about. So it doesn't take much to lose people's attention. So that's the thing about the website, is if we can get that image of you and just have a one sentence that's essentially your elevator pitch, it's much more powerful for me, because then I'm going to go, yep, I want to see what else she's got. And down here where you've currently got you are the creator, I would put some sort of call to action. So I know that with your signature courses and as we go through this training, you may not have a free opt-in product yet, but you will have. And when you do, I'd really like to see down here the call to action button that says download your copy, free copy of whatever it is, so that you're grabbing them straight away and you're trying to get people onto your email list as soon as possible, preferably on the first visit. You're not asking them to buy anything, so it's an easier decision. You're just saying, hey, I've got this free thing for you that's very valuable information that will really suit you, and here's how you get it. So those are the things that you want to see there without scrolling, without me having to go anywhere. If you've got all that and it grabs me, then I'm going to start scrolling through your website and seeing what else you've got. But that's the most important real estate right there, is before the scroll. So that's the first thing that I would say, is to have a look at those points.
Michelle, can I ask a question?
Of course.
That text is, it's quite, I like it, like it's quite cool. Would be that maybe you could use that as it is now in another part of the site?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is only specific to this before the scroll is so important, that real estate, that you've got to be really careful what you put on there. But yes, absolutely. Use that somewhere else in the website for sure. So when you say the text, do you mean the words, or are you talking about the font, like the style of text?
The words.
Okay. Yeah, I like that too. And I think that you can pick out, here's a good tip that I picked up from another lady who specializes just in writing, and it's a really good one. She talks about wow words, and I wasn't really clear what they were until I was watching another training of hers last night, and it's incredibly valuable advice. If you can, you've been working with Benet on who your ideal clients are. I know that you guys have been digging into that, and that's fantastic, because you really need to understand that. So once you've worked out who your ideal clients are, go start stalking them online and looking for the words that they constantly use. Like, check out, find someone that you think really fits your ideal client profile, and go start checking out their social media pages, because what you're looking for is patterns in the way that they talk, or write in this case. So when you start seeing words that keep coming up, those are their wow words, and you want to be using those to attract them. So if they use, it might be a phrase, they might say, oh, it's not rocket science. You know, they might say that a lot, and you go, right, that's one that I want to use, because you want to attract them with their own language. And we talk about that a lot, but it's sometimes difficult to get how that translates into a practical application. And this is I thought it was a really good tip, was to go stalk them online, see how they talk, and really start using their language. And it's not a whole bunch of words, but just a handful, 3 or 4 words that they use all the time. So they might use the word fantastic a lot, or amazing, or awesome, like whatever language they're using, start to pepper that throughout your elevator speech and your content. And you'll have a much stronger instant connection with people. And then also do the same thing with you. Find out what your wow words are, because you want to start using those too. And it's an interesting exercise, and one that you might not even be able to do for yourself. I started trying to do it, and I thought, I can't even work this out. So I asked a friend of mine to have a look. And it's interesting getting it from someone else's perspective. They'll start saying to you, oh, well, there's this handful of words that I see you use all the time. And once you've got those 2 pieces of information, it can actually make writing all your content a lot easier, because you've got these words that you just want to use over and over. And it will grab those people's attention that you're trying to appeal to. It'll repel everyone else, and that's fine. You know, you might use a phrase that someone else hates, but that's okay, because that means they're not your ideal client anyway. But if you can find those words that people use all the time and the way that they speak, it will become really, really powerful for you.
Anik, just with your validation calls, have you done all 7?
No, I'm still stuck on 6.
You're very close.
Different kind of questions, but
that's fine. I was just use that as an opportunity to check in to see how you are tracking. And 6 is fantastic. So by now you should have a reasonable understanding of you know, the type of character and the ideal clients that that are attracted to you. In those 6 validation calls, did you have are there any sort of wow words or key phrases that are coming up for you already?
Well, if I went to see them, what they write in the groups or things like that, but these are topics, like you said from the start with my niche, they don't really talk about that they are from frantic and wanting to be free. Everybody wants to be free and have more free time, but they don't admit it. So I have to find, when I start putting questions now I'm posting a lot on Instagram, going in that way, and then I get a lot of responses, a lot of new followers, but people won't say it up front from, you know, I'm in a frantic state.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, let's see. I'd love to hear what Michelle has to say.
So that's a little bit of a red flag for me, because the thing that we need to understand with anything to do with marketing is that you have to sell people what they need, you have to sell people what they want wrapped in what they need, which just means you know that they're frantic, but if they're not using that language, we need to find out what language they are using, or they aren't going to connect with your offer. Because just because you know it's frantic, and we might know it's frantic, the state that they're in, if they're not describing it that way, it may not connect with them. So that's why I say, during your calls, if there's someone that you were speaking to and you thought, oh, I really feel like she's like my perfect client, go stalk her online, because with all of your content and all of your writing and messaging, you're really trying to get to the point where you're literally speaking to that one person. So base everything off the one person that really jumps out at you as your perfect client. You'll get a lot of other clients, don't worry, but you need to be speaking to one person so that you can actually formulate any of this. Because if you're trying to spot patterns of wow words amongst a group of people, it's too confusing. So find the person that resonates with you as your most ideal client that you've come across so far. This might change down the track, but where you are for right now, pick the one person that you've spoken to where you really felt like, I can really help her. She's really the person that I'm aiming this at. Go start stalking her online. Have a look at her personal profile. See how she writes, what she talks about. If she's got some sort of website or whatever she's doing, just start looking just at that one person, not a whole group of people, because those are the words that you want, is the way that she's talking about her life. You know it's frantic, but if she's not describing it that way, that's a bit of a red flag for me. Because we need to be connected with people on the level that they're at now. So whatever they're talking about, the way they're talking about their life now is super important, because that's how you grab them. So you're giving them what they think they need, and then you're actually providing what they really need. But you have to connect with them on the level that they think they're at now. Your ideal client might think that what she needs is this is me, total blue sky here, but say she's in a career and she's a bit frustrated, she might think what she needs is a way to talk to her boss that doesn't make her feel scared, for example. But what she really needs is more confidence. Do you see what I mean? Like, you have to find out what they think they're buying and what you're actually selling them.
Yeah.
And it's usually two very different things. So finding that language that they're actually using to describe their life now is really important, because that's what's going to connect them with you.
And everybody, your A diagram, that we got through what are your top 3 challenges around, keeping them from the transformation that you deliver, that those answers to that is what they think they need. So you have already done a whole lot of research in this space. So go back to your A diagram. And also that stalking, one ideal client is a great idea too, to look for those power words. Okay, I just would like to check in with Anik really quickly. So this critique is all for you and Anik, and what can help you take your website to the next level. Michelle's already given you a whole bunch already. I just wanted to check in with you and say, what more would you like some feedback on for your website specifically? Or are you good? Or is this like enough to already get going on?
I think this is, like she said, this is the brick, or how does she call it? So I think this is good to start with, to reframe. But what I want to do now, after my 10 years in business, I really want to go working with people from inside out. So even marketing wise, I'm not really afraid of, because I will attract the right people, I believe. But I will reframe this, yes, and check out the words, and as long as the words also resonate with me, because
yes, they have to resonate with you too.
Yeah. So with regard to this critique or this review, do you have enough information? Would you like to keep going? I just want to make sure you have enough to move forward with, and not too much so that you're overwhelmed. So I'm looking for that perfect balance, and I know that you know what that is. So we're just looking for some. We have plenty of time. So if you want more, if you want to scroll down and go to some other pages, let us know. Otherwise, we'll move on to your Facebook stuff.
Okay, so we're moving on to Facebook.
I don't know. Anik, do you want any more feedback on the website, or are you ready to move on to Facebook?
Well, I don't know. Do you have a highlight, Michelle? I suppose you have seen it already. Is there something else that popped out for you that you would like to share?
She's ready for more.
I think for me, it's really that point that I was saying is, it just needs to be really strong when you first look at it. So if you can make those changes, I think it would really grab me, because when I read through what you've got on there, it's all really good stuff. But I just worry that if you can't grab them right at the beginning, they're not going to get to that point of seeing the really good stuff. So there's a lot of really good information on there. I think Grady mentioned that before.
And let's, I can't see you guys as easily right now. So if anybody has any comments or feedback they'd like to give to Anik before we move on to her Facebook stuff, can you just come off mute and let me know? And you can go ahead and share. I know Grady spent some time with the site. I'm just curious, Grady,
Well, I will tell you, I'm a highly visual person. So lots of content, lots of good content. And so the visuals that Anik had on there really worked for me. The big writing really worked for me. The content at the top, which Michelle had already addressed, if there's a way to turn that into something that's more visual rather than requiring it to be read, because I'll tell you, 75 to 85% of adults are visual. I rarely read anything. If I hadn't have been looking at Anik's site to carefully go through, and I actually thought I scanned it, but I actually read it better than I thought I did. But I'm typically not somebody who would have actually read a lot of content. So, which is interesting. So it means Anik connected with me because I actually did read practically everything on her website, even though that's not my nature. But just keeping that in mind, if there's any way to visually connect those pieces, I think you'll get more people just because of the large percentages of people. And maybe as we learn to do videos, there'll be a video or something of you sharing that information, which, because people like me, highly visual, I'll click on videos and watch them, you know, to get that information rather than read it.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Anyone else? You just have to come off
Yes.
quick. Oh, yeah. Atia.
Really quickly, I just want to say what Michelle said about having a free item on your page is very good information. Benet, one of the ways I became her student is from a free item that she gave away on her website.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so glad you said that, because me and Dwayne are in the making of doing our website, but we totally didn't realize that that's something that you need.
Yeah, and do it before the scroll. Don't make people scroll to look for it. It's the big-
Yeah.
Okay.
And just in alignment with with the time frame, you guys are going to be working with an expert in designing a freebie that is perfect for attracting people into your signature program, and that's starting in July. So don't stress about it. Do the work that Michelle has is going to give you around the video work, because what that's going to do is it's going to help you start to gain understanding and analytical data on what your ideal clients are really resonating with, and then we're going to take that information and design a killer freebie for your site. Okay, but now based on this feedback that Michelle's giving to Anique, you know that you want to leave it in that top part of your website that's above the scroll. That's where the opt-in's going to go, and you're going to get the freebie done in July. Okay. Back to Michelle.
Okay.
Oh,
so we
does
move
anybody?
on to
Sorry. Did
Facebook now?
anybody have anything else before we move on? Just come off mute. Okay, I think we're moving on.
All right. Let's move on to Facebook. Okay. Let's see. The About section is the most important on your Facebook page. Okay, so here where you've said in the About, I help busy people get their desired results in a more efficient way. So just make those changes we were talking about before in your elevator pitch, because essentially this is your elevator pitch again. So you can see how important your elevator pitch is. Once you're really happy with it, you don't need to keep reinventing the wheel. You can just use it as that sentence at the beginning of your website, and you can put it in your About section on all of your social media pages that have an About section. So it becomes really important to be really, really happy with that. So as soon as you're totally happy with your elevator pitch, plonk it in here in your About section, because again, it grabs people with, you know, who you are, how you can help them, and what they can expect. Now, there's not a lot of other stuff in the About section here. One thing that you definitely want to have in here is a link to your website, which I'm not seeing currently.
It's not online yet. This is still the draft.
Okay, so just put that as a note. Make sure that you have a prominent link to your website. And usually on a business page, there's an area called a story, which sits over here on the right-hand side of the page. And it'll become, when you start building out your page, Facebook has a lot of suggested edits as you go. So my advice is to fill in every single one of them. And when you get to the part called the story, it's sort of like your elevator pitch plus a bit more. So it's like your elevator pitch plus if someone said, tell me more. So make sure that you complete that fully as well. Because what you want to do with all of this is just treat it like your little website on Facebook. So put as much really attention-grabbing information in there as you can, and make sure that you're linking across to your website. The most important part of your Facebook page is here, this button that currently says Send Message. Once you've got your free opt-in product up and running, make sure that that button is going to link to that product, because it's yet another way that you can get people to sign up and get them onto your list. What you could do in the beginning before you have that product is at least make that go to your website, so you're taking them over to your website. The reason I keep going on and on about taking people to your website is because while I love social media, obviously it's a major part of what I teach, it's all rented space. So if you're spending a lot of time building a giant following on Facebook and Instagram and all over the place, that's great. But if you aren't getting them across to your website and onto your email list, then you're wasting your time. Because if those shut the doors tomorrow, God forbid, or if they change the algorithm and all of a sudden you can't even reach those people, if you don't have them on your email list, then you don't have any control over how you contact them. You're completely at the mercy of these algorithms that every platform has. So as soon as possible, start using this real estate here, this button, to get them across to your website. And it might be in the beginning, you might send them to read a blog post. You might send them just to a newsletter sign-up page. Before you have a free product, you can still have a page that just says, hey, sign up to my newsletter, so that you don't miss any of the new stuff that's coming out. So you don't have to wait until you have a free product. So that's one thing. Again, with your image here that you've got this on the side, make sure that's a picture of you, and make sure it's the same or very similar as one that you're using on the website, so that you start to build consistency across all the platforms. And we know that's Anique because I've seen her here and she looks the same here. So just find a picture that you like, that fits nicely with the feeling of your brand, and use that everywhere. So use the same one. Or if you've got a series that are very similar, then use those. But and your hero image here, if we click on it, you can see that it goes to another page. So when you get over to this page, make sure that here you're actually filling in that description and putting a link to your website or your free opt-in product or your newsletter sign-up page, or wherever you want to take people. Because a lot of people will click on that image just to see what happens. And so when you take them to this page, make sure that that description is actually working for you. So that's another part that you can fill in that's got more links to your website and more calls to action.
I just want to throw in, so Michelle's Mojo is really helping people get free leads. She's got a whole background of finding out these tiny little tweaks you can do a lot in every asset, on all your media platforms to draw people back to your email list, and this is one of those little gems that often gets overlooked.
It's probably missed 95% of the time, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I'm not saying it's going to bring you hundreds of people a day to your website, but every single person you can get for free is a very valuable person. So wherever you can, let's take the opportunity to use all of the free stuff that's out there. Because it does work. I've been doing business online since 2007, and across 2 different businesses now, I've never spent 1 cent on advertising. And I don't have anything against paid advertising. It definitely has its place, but I've managed to never require it. So it definitely is my mojo, is all of the free organic marketing techniques.
Yeah. And then once you put it up here, this is an asset that's collecting people, even if it's just one a month. Yeah. But by the time you have compounded attraction to that asset, that's going to turn into more people each month. And that's just going to keep working for you by just pasting a little link and spending, 5 minutes to actually write that little piece of text.
Yeah.
And it'll be working for you for as long as that's up there.
And that's exactly the beauty of organic marketing right there, is that you do the work once and it just keeps working for you.
Yeah.
Paid advertising, you can turn it on and off when you need to do a specific thing. But the beauty of organic marketing is it just keeps working for you forever and ever. So you do the work once and you're done. So, okay, so that's about it for the Facebook page, because the most important parts are this cover image. So make sure it's eye-catching, which that one is. It's a beautiful image. You may want to put some words on there that relate to your business, but not too heavy on the text. So don't get too busy. So you can either leave it as is or just put a couple of words on there. But just make sure that when you click through to the image that you fill out that description. Make sure that this button here goes to somewhere that you want to take people to hopefully be building your email list. And as I said in the beginning, that can just be, come sign up for my newsletter. I don't have a free product yet, but sign up for my newsletter so you don't miss out on anything that's happening. And then you can change that down the track when you've actually got a free opt-in product to be giving people. But just send them somewhere. The other thing is over here in the tabs section, you can add, the one that I would probably suggest adding is if you have any other social media accounts like Instagram, for example, you can add the tabs in here to show people that you've got an Instagram account, and so they can actually preview what your Instagram account looks like while they're on Facebook and follow you right from there, which is useful because it starts to cross-promote all of your places that you're online, and that's what you want to do as much as possible, is cross-promote them, particularly from one social media account to another. One thing, it's a bit of a digression, but back to the website, what I see a lot of people do is actually very prominently feature all of their social media sharing buttons on their website. And it's a personal choice, and there's 2 schools of thought, but personally, I would make them small and way down the bottom, which might sound counterintuitive because you're thinking, but don't I want people to follow me on on Facebook and everywhere, and you do. But remember what I said before, it's all rented space. Really where you want people to be is on your website, because that's the platform that you have control over. So it's all about getting them onto your email list, because email marketing is still the king. It's still the bee's knees as far as talking to people and building relationships and actually selling your products. It's the way that everyone is still making all of their money, basically. So even all of the big gurus that have multi-million-dollar businesses, you ask them, they're all doing it on their email list. So they might have millions of people following them on social media. The bulk of their sales come from their email list. So that's what we want to be focusing on all the time, is building that, funneling everything to build on asset that you've got.
Excellent. Okay, someone's got some banging in the background. If you could go on mute, that would be awesome. Can we go ahead and go to her group, and then let's move on to Sylvie's Facebook page?
Okay, so I don't have a link.
Oh,
to the group here.
sorry. I thought there was a group. Anik, was there not a group? Am I getting you? Maybe I'm getting you confused with Terry.
Not a group yet.
Okay.
Not a group. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That was me getting, just seeing into the future.
Okay.
So let's go on to Sylvie.
All right, so we'll move on to Sylvie.
I have a question, Michelle.
Yeah.
Does it matter if we copy and paste things from our website to our Facebook, so that like the about is exactly like on
Yeah, no, not at all. I would recommend it. Like I said, that's why you work so hard on getting that elevator pitch perfect. And once you've got it perfect, use it everywhere.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that a new picture, Sylvie?
Yes.
It looks awesome.
Thank you.
Love it. Okay, sorry. Go ahead, Michelle.
Well, this is a great example of what I was just saying. You can add some text, but this is lovely because it doesn't overpower anything and it's not too busy. So it's a good example for everyone else to see that, if you want to put something on here, do it in this sort of way where you've got this lovely image, but then you can have some text off to the side that isn't completely taking over it, and you're not asking people to read too much. Okay, so let's have a look. Flip to the About section. Okay, so you've got some personal interests. That's good. This is what I was talking about with Anik just a minute ago. Here's the story section. So make sure that everybody who's listening, make sure that you fill this in on your page. This is good. So it's basically your elevator pitch and how you can help people to get them interested. Okay, and again, this is basically your elevator pitch on your About section down here, and there's a link to the website, which is great. So it's really easy to find. There's another link to the website up here, which is really good. And you've got your email address if people want to contact you directly, also really good. So Sylvie, do you currently have any freebie products that you direct people?
I do, but my website is not ready yet.
Right, okay.
So yeah, so I've done some live videos for YouTube, for Facebook. So I've told people to go to my website and download the opt-in, which is a planner.
Okay.
So yeah, but no.
Okay, that's all right. So we're in transition. So when it's up and running, then probably I'd say where you've got send message on this button right now, change that to actually take them across to the page that'll download the freebie and get them on your list. So let's get that button working for you, because right now this is looking and sounding really good and you've got most of it filled out, which is fantastic. If we click on this image, okay, so there you go. You can go over here and fill in that description that I was talking about. Make sure that you either take them to get on your email list by taking to the download page for the free product, or in the meantime, you can just be getting them to sign up so that they don't miss out on anything. Do you currently do a newsletter, or are you planning on doing a newsletter?
I'm planning on doing one, but not currently.
But even though you haven't started yet, you could still be building the list for that. So don't wait until you have a newsletter to start building the list of people who want to see the newsletter. Because in the meantime, you can literally email them once a week and just have like 2 bullet points. It doesn't even have to be a newsletter. And a newsletter doesn't have to be a big thing either. I don't know if anyone knows Tim Ferriss, who's majorly successful. All he sends out is this thing called 5 Bullet Friday. So it's not like a big deal that it's a newsletter. It's 5 bullets of things that he's found during the week. So the focus of something like your newsletter can be very, very simple. And I would recommend to start building that list even before you have one worked out. Because if people are showing enough interest to sign up to get, notified of all the new things you're doing, then jump on it. So maybe fill in this right now and just start collecting email addresses already. So all that requires is a simple little landing page, which if you use something like MailChimp, for example, do you have a service already for your email marketing?
Yeah, I'm set up with MailChimp. Well,
MailChimp's fabulous. They've now introduced free landing pages, and it literally takes about 3 minutes to build one. So jump onto MailChimp, make yourself a landing page that's just collecting the email address for building your list for newsletter subscribers, even before you have one. And, use that description area to send them there, and maybe use this button on your profile there to send them there as well. Start building that list right now.
And on the description for that banner, what would you put? Again, the elevator pitch or something else?
You mean here when we click over and go to this?
Yeah, what will you put there?
You could, but what I was just saying is if you build a landing page with MailChimp designed to collect email addresses for a newsletter that's coming, then do that here. Instead of just having your elevator pitch again, you can say, hey, don't miss out, stay up to date on all the great stuff that I'm bringing you. Sign up here for the newsletter. It can be that simple, and then put the link to the landing page.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see what else.
I have a question about the image choice, Sylvie. I think it's a beautiful picture. I'm just curious about two young people sitting and looking at a laptop. What was the thinking behind that?
It was done really quickly. I was looking for an image that will look okay. I'm getting my branding done. It should be done by the end of the week, so that's going to change the image.
Okay.
The picture's going to... Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
Good question though, Benet, because yes, you want to make sure that your image somehow relates to what you're doing. But I love this one, by the way, Sylvie. This one of you is fantastic. Are you using it on your website as well?
I'm gonna, yeah.
Okay. Or if you're getting branding done, they'll help you with all that anyway. But yeah, so it's a beautiful image. And if you start to use the same one or very similar ones across all your platform, it just reinforces your brand. Yeah. Okay. That's probably it for here because you've mostly got everything filled out anyway. And you've got lots of links to your website, which is great. So
any feedback before we move on to Grady? Anybody want to say anything? Just come off mute and speak, please.
Just one for Sylvie.
That's Anik. Go ahead.
I'll mail you for some help with what you did down there with storing all the things there. Wonderful.
Awesome. You've inspired Anik, Sylvie. Well done.
Right. So can I have a look? What happens if we click on your website link? I just want to see where we go.
That I did at about 30 minutes, so it's a mess.
But you know what? It doesn't matter because you've got something there. I'm ashamed to admit almost that I'm a year into this and I still don't have my website built. So just because I know what to do doesn't mean I'm doing it. Just so you all know that, you know, I'm not sitting over here being perfect and having all of this done. I know that I'm missing opportunities by doing that, but I've been so focused on other parts of the business that I just haven't got to it yet. So don't feel bad if you don't have your website built yet.
Oh, and you do. So you do have an opt-in working for you already.
Yeah. That's great. So then what I would recommend is if we go back to Facebook, that, come on. Keeps getting in the way. Okay, so when we go back to Facebook, since you've already got an opt-in there, is this button that you've currently got send message on, definitely change that to take them to the homepage of your website where they will be offered that opt-in.
Okay.
And start using it to build your list.
Sure, we'll do.
Okay. So move on to Grady.
Oh, that keeps the control panel keeps dropping down in the way.
I think you can actually drag and drop that Zoom thing over.
Try that
to get it out of the way. I have had the same problem. It's hard to reach all your tabs.
Thank you for that tip.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's close that. That's much better. All right, Grady. Let's see.
And he's changed his photo.
Okay, that's very professional looking. I like that. Okay, interesting. You've got the more corporate sort of logo image over here where I would normally recommend having an image of you, but that's okay because you've got you in this big image here. So you can, you know, get away with that. But it, you know, it totally depends too on the field that you're going for, because some of you will want to be more corporate if you're working with corporate entities, then you're going to want to look more corporate for sure. So it totally depends on what the emotional response is that you're trying to create in your audience. For those of us with the smaller brands where we're not working with corporates, you want it to be much more friendly, personable, and approachable. So Grady, who are you working with? I'm looking at this thinking that it's more corporate clients that you have.
I work with predominantly corporate clients, but where I'm going is I want to work more with individuals. But even the individuals I work with are typically inside of corporations.
Okay, so they're still used to that whole corporate feel. Okay, so that makes sense. Okay, that's good.
They all notice my smiling face though, because that was a change.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, you definitely want to be, that's the thing, even when you're dealing with corporates, you want to be seen heavily. We want to look through your social media and your website, and we need to know straight away who you are because we can see you everywhere. So anyone who's hiding currently behind logos and things, we need to get you out in front. So.
Just curious, while we're talking about Grady's photo, for those of you who are on the last call, any feedback on Grady's new photo?
If you look at my Twitter
wonderful.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay, hold on. You'll see my old.
The stampede.
Everybody's talking at once. Okay, I heard Grady. You want no? Lily, save you to last. Terry.
Grady, it is a wonderful photo. I mean, you're not only just very clean cut, but you are smiling. You look so, to use Renard's term, approachable. It's a great photo.
Thank you.
Such a difference between last week and this week. Anybody else? I heard another voice in there, but I couldn't tell who it was.
That was me, Atia. Yes, Grady, I definitely agree. I love the smile. You don't look like an old white man like Benet said last week anymore. You look very approachable and very friendly. Yeah, I have to agree.
And also professional.
Yeah, very.
Anybody else? Okay, Grady, you're allowed to say something now.
I was going to say, you can on Twitter. It's still my old picture. What's interesting is you ask me, do I have a picture in a suit? And I love this day and age because I had a head I liked, but I only had the suit from before. So that is the same photo with a different head.
That's amazing.
And you can't tell because the shadows are made in there on purpose, so you can't tell that I switched out my head. But after all the comments about Jay last week, I felt like using Jay's head.
Awesome. Okay, back to you, Michelle.
You gotta love Photoshop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look at your About section. Okay, so you are missing a story over here, so you want to make sure that you go in and fill that out.
I have to get with Sylvie. I have no idea how to do that.
I love it when you can all help each other. See, everyone knows little bits that are different. Okay, so this is good. You've got cross-promotion to your Twitter account, Instagram, perfect, website. That's great.
Out of curiosity, my Twitter will not go live. No matter how I insert it, that link will not go live.
That's weird. It's probably because Facebook doesn't own Twitter, so they don't care.
Well, I wondered about that.
Because they do own Instagram for anyone who doesn't know. So, yes, it could be that simple, literally, that we don't own it, so we don't care.
Okay.
I'm curious now. I'm literally just going to pop over to your Twitter account because I need to go see this other photo you're talking about now. Oh, yeah, I like the other. Yeah, the new one's much better.
Yeah.
You look too serious and stern in that one. Much better. Okay. So this is all good. So with this button that you're currently using for send message, do you feel like that's the most valuable thing that you can do with it?
No, my Facebook page is all a new concept. So okay. I was listening to you when you were talking about Sylvie because I actually have a free giveaway on my website, so I should really change that out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I didn't even know you could change it out. So
yeah, you can. So I can't do it because I'm not your account, but normally you just hover over the button and it will give you an edit option. Or if you you just literally go in and follow the prompts, and there's a few different choices. It may not word it exactly the way you would because it's not free reign, but just pick the one that's the closest to what you want them to do, and work within what Facebook will allow you to do.
Mhm. Can I'd just like to make a quick comment on the headline. One thing I'm always looking at with you guys, and I'm getting even better at as I work with more and more coaches, is how important it is to really own and claim your space. And Grady, I'm just wanting to, and shorten everything. So when I'm looking at Grady's headline, which I love, I would actually just say leading with coaching and mentoring transforms the world.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Make it shorter, more powerful, and just own that shit. You know, like just really like that is, you know, your thing. You know, other people may have said it, but I don't know them. So, you know, just own that because it is your thing. I think we've noticed that with Jay's language. I've noticed that with Jay's language, kind of getting really owning it, claiming it. It really makes a big difference.
The only other thing I would say too is that this image overall is maybe a little bit busy for me. You could still have all these certification things on there, but I might make them a little bit smaller and just like put them in a line across the bottom. I feel like it's, with the amount of text and all of the other stuff, it's a little bit busy. So maybe just shrink those a little bit, shorten the text like Benet said. I think it'll be a cleaner look and it captures more attention that way. So let's click over to your image and it's probably the same thing. Okay, see, you've already got it. Get a free gift at blah, blah, blah. So you're already using the description, which is great. If we go to that one, does it take me directly to where I can sign up for that freebie?
Takes you directly to the page that it's on, yes.
Okay, let's go have a look. This is really good because you've got the same photo and it's very consistent. Again, the text might be a little bit big and wordy, so maybe just make that change that Benet suggested and really own that, you know.
Yeah, and you've got those logos across the bottom. That looks nicer.
It's nicer, isn't it? It's a bit cleaner. So just do a very similar thing to that on your Facebook image. That's what you need to do.
Notice my GDPR compliance down there at the bottom.
I noticed straight away. Well done.
You know, I have to say that's one place my procrastination's paid off because I haven't built my website yet. I didn't have to change anything.
That's funny. And Michelle, he's
sticking to it.
He's got an example where he's got his social media up at the top.
Yeah, so it seems very counterintuitive, but I would probably move those to the bottom so people have to scroll to find those because, like I said, we all have very short attention spans and I'm over here and I'm going, oh, that looks nice. Oh, look, Twitter. Oh, what does he do on Twitter? And then you've lost me and you don't own Twitter, so you don't own the information on Twitter and I haven't signed up to your list and you've lost me. So move those to the bottom so people have to work to find them because really what you want to do is keep them on your website.
Okay.
So that's a really easy fix. Okay, so yeah, that's good. You're using the description already, so fantastic. The only thing you really have to do is just add that story. So make sure you put your story in there. I mean, other than that, you've already changed the image from last week anyway. So just, you know, shrink these certifications and change the wording to be more direct. What did Benet say? What did you say? It was really good, I believe.
No, just get rid of I believe. Just leading with coaching
and mentoring will change the world or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, transforms the world.
Yep. Perfect.
And I'll tell you where that came from. Every time I speak, I begin with that because it's kind of that Simon Sinek, why do I do what I do? Yeah. How do I do what I do? What is it I do? So that actually is a quote that I lead all of my speaking engagements with, is where that came from.
Right.
Yeah, I believe that too. I think you capture the essence with less words, and it makes it even more impactful. Even though you still might say "I believe," because when you're talking and you're in front of a large audience and you say "I believe," you put your hand on your heart, and like it's just different.
Okay. And just keep that in mind. I mean, you said it best. You're very visual, right? And so is most of the population. So the busier the image is, the less clear that visual piece of real estate is. And so the less words you can use to get the message across, the better, because you've got 5 seconds to grab me. The viewer. So, yep.
It's like in your PowerPoints when you have a bullet point list, you don't say the whole thing. You'll say it one way, but you'll just have like the power words as your bullet point.
Okay.
Look,
basically really good. You've only got a couple of little tweaks to make and you're off and running.
Okay.
So,
is there any other feedback you were hoping or you would like, Grady, or do you have enough for this first round?
Oh no, I'm actually pleased for the first round because I personally feel like I haven't got enough funneling down to a specific. I'm knock on wood. I have clients. I have more clients than I need right now. But the bottom line is I don't feel like for sales purposes, I don't have it funneled down to something. It's kind of a hodgepodge using a book I wrote that's on a closely related subject. So I'm very pleased with the feedback.
Great. And we'll get there. We'll get there over the next 4 months. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to Jay. If Jay can come off and tell us where you wanted us to look. I'm sorry, for some reason I missed that in our last meeting.
On our list. Okay, right.
Yeah. So Jay, are you around?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a background noise. I actually did put a post on Facebook, but it's pretty simple. My website is just my first name and last name, so jaymartinov.com.
Can you spell that for Michelle, please?
Yeah, of course. It's JAY MARTYNOV.com. Now I had it for a while, and it kind of went through a few permutations. In its current state, it doesn't reflect what I'm intended to do as a part of this program. Yeah, and then also there was a hybrid. So when I was looking for a job, I do have a day job in IT, healthcare. Right. I had to make it fairly safe so it wouldn't scare potential employers with, like, what's the guy doing? Is he going to work for us, or he's going to coach while we, hiring him?
And do you have any online assets at this point that are more of a reflection of what you're doing now, just out of curiosity?
Not really. So I've got a fairly active Instagram. Yep. I've got a fairly active Instagram account with about 4,000 followers, I think, which is just sitting on autopilot. I'm not even posting that much, but I was fairly active there. And then you will see pretty much all the posts that I put on Instagram on my Facebook page.
Let's go. Michelle, can we use this as an opportunity to look at Instagram? Yeah, because that's a platform we haven't spoken about. And Jay's, he's got some good stuff on Instagram.
So what's your handle on Instagram, Jay?
So it's JAY M coaching. Now, and I've got a bit of a love triangle going on there, right, with website, Instagram, and Facebook. So stuff that goes on Instagram, the comments that I have, some of them form the basis of my posts on my website. I also have my freebie in Instagram in my link.
I love that. You've already nailed it. You've got, see, for everyone else who either is or isn't on Instagram, this is exactly what you want to do with Instagram too. So Jay's done really well because he's got download Essential Self-Care Plan, and then you click on it and you go right there. So that's exactly what you want to be doing every chance you get. So,
Jay, by the way, because we missed your elevator pitch, do you want to go ahead and do that so Michelle gets the spiel?
Yeah, sure. About that though, Michelle, you'll see on my Instagram that it's not reflecting what I'm doing with this program, right? And I'm kind of changing angle a little bit, Binay, as well. I'm thinking my one-liner for the program will be finding true love through self-love. I think that's what I'm coming up with. Cool. So in the elevator pitch is I'm helping single men and women to heal through past relationships. And it didn't go well. Give me a sec. I'm helping single men and women to heal from past relationships and get ready for fulfilling and lasting relationship for life.
Great.
And how do you do that, Jay? You mentioned self-love and acceptance. So is that the focus of what you're doing with people?
Well, that's where I'm in a limbo at the moment because I have a skeleton for my program, right? Like with the structure with 12 sessions in it. Mm-hmm. But I struggle because I don't have all the material, first of all. And I'm not, with self-love, achievement goals, personality profiling, law of attraction, I've got fairly decent experience, but all the other stuff is not there. And I think really what I gravitate towards is more helping people to find that self-love and understand themselves better. And for that, achieving their goals or finding a partner or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so you definitely want to put that in your elevator pitch, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all in transition.
It's in transition. And we're meeting next week, aren't we, Jay? To explore
I haven't booked it yet, but yeah, we need to, because otherwise I'm pretty much just.
Let's do it. We got to nail it because
yeah.
And then I'm on holiday for a couple of weeks after that, so let's meet next week and sort
All
that
right,
out.
no problem. I'll book something today.
We'll get it because you're just so close. You're like, I can feel it.
I'm just checking out the last time you posted, so May 14th. So how active have you been on this account previously?
Well, because of a day job, it took a lot of my focus away. So before that, I was fairly active, and now I'm aiming to post once a week if I can. But even that doesn't seem to work. I have all the material and stock photos and everything. You just don't have time to post. And then what I have in the background, I've got the guy who's basically promoting my page through follow cycle, and we also crafted a message that potentially generate leads. So I got a few contacts for this course through that. And Instagram definitely has a lot of potential, but it does require work. I would say probably between anywhere from 2 to 4 hours a week in my case, and I wasn't even fairly active on it.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, Michelle, I want to make sure we get to Terry because she's got a really fascinating question with what she's proposed to us. So just what are your top tips just quickly for Instagram? Because some people in here aren't on Instagram at all. Some people it's very new. So if you could just give us a really 3 minutes of Instagram wisdom, and then let's move on to Terry so we have time.
Okay, with Instagram, I'm a big fan. I think that the connection you can make with people on Instagram is usually higher because you get better engagement. So for all the stuff that you're putting on Facebook, that's probably where a lot of your clients will come from. But for making connections with your audience and growing your tribe, Instagram is fantastic because it's a simpler platform. A lot of people are getting really over Facebook because it's become, I reconcile it with going to Vegas. You're trying to walk down the strip and there's all these flashing lights and all this stuff saying, pick me, pick me. You go onto your newsfeed, it's overwhelming now. So a lot of people are moving to Instagram because it's so simple and it's just one picture after another after another. So if you aren't on Instagram, I would definitely consider getting on there. And just consistency with anything is key. So pick a posting frequency that you can stick with and do it, and interact with other people on the platform. Don't just keep posting stuff and hoping they'll follow you. So go find people who are either your ideal clients or your peers and start interacting with them. So that's my quick takeaways for Instagram, but it's worth following up because Benet will attest. She wasn't a big fan of Instagram until I was influencing her to have a go, and she's a big fan of Instagram now because it's a different experience than Facebook, and I think that you can make some really good connections on there.
Yeah, I think Michelle, I met Michelle at a business networking event.
I think that was September last year. And and Michelle gave a talk on some of the top social media platforms, Instagram being one of them. And she really just helped me see the light. As Instagram is a way to really quickly send, your message out there and a way to share really good karma. And once I stopped thinking about social media as Big Brother and started seeing it as a way to, increase my message and help contribute to raising the vibrational state of humanity, which is what I'm here for, it was no-brainer. Let's do this. And it's been so much fun just to share and to inspire in the little ways. I don't have 4,000 followers like Jay. I think I have 280 this week, but it's getting there. In September, I had 0. There you go.
And it's really, really fun. And like Jay said, you can say share to Facebook so you get a double post, which is really nice because some people that follow me on Facebook don't follow me on Instagram. So I'm getting a double whammy every time I post on Instagram, which I find is a lot easier than posting on Facebook anyway.
And that's the benefit of Facebook owning Instagram. They don't have a problem with that. So you might as well use what they're going to let you do.
Yeah. Any questions, guys, about Instagram before we move on to Terry's?
I actually have a question about Facebook, Benet.
Oh, you can ask a question about Facebook.
Okay. So how do we integrate our business page with what we're doing now with our business? Because, so I am a salon owner. So on a lot of my social media is all about hair and what I do within my business. How can I integrate that? And do we need to have a separate business page? Well, I know we need to have a separate page for the relationship thing, but doesn't need to be a separate business page.
Yeah, and this actually relates really, I think Terry's got a really similar question. Terry, can you just come online really quickly and tell us what your big question was with yours? And let's see, because we might actually address both of you with this one.
And it actually would address it, because my issue is I am what I would call very fragmented. Of course, I've got my personal page. I have a branded page, but that's where I was branding myself, but it was more around the business consulting, kind of that small business problem solver in terms of Facebook. I also operate like three other different groups within Facebook. And so my big question was, I know I need to have, do a group, for what I'm doing with coaching. Do I have to do a whole new page, business page, or because I've got so many of them going on right now, and I can't manage too many more. Plus, I've got good following on most of my pages anyway, so I can convert like my small business problem solver page and just kind of turn it towards the coaching side, because nothing you will see, Michelle, reflects the coaching yet. I was waiting until I
So my question there is it the same audience? If it's predominantly the same audience,
No.
then yes, absolutely, you can just kind of morph into the new thing. If it's not, then I probably would start a separate page and just get rid of the ones that you can, like, because you are getting to quite the point now where you've got a lot of managing of different pages and groups. So there'll come a point where you're going to have to trim some of them because you will not be able to manage all of those. So just if you can use the audience you've already got because it's the same audience, absolutely do that. But if not, if you're going to turn them off with the new stuff, then...
Atia, how is that sitting with you, that piece of advice?
So it makes sense, but I don't know if it's my particular situation, only because, so I would need to still advertise and do get some sales as far as cosmetology is concerned, but I don't want to confuse the two, or I don't know if it should be integrated together or if it should be its own separate entity.
I feel like with yours it really should be separate because it's two very different things. Yeah, I think it would get confused.
Yeah. And you're working, in that business, because Dwayne's got his own other business as well. So, which is a separate thing again. So maybe for your Facebook business page, for your coaching, it's you two photograph together. Yeah. And then its own thing. But you as a person then on Facebook is a different thing again. So let's go ahead and Michelle, well, I just want to because I want to wrap up too. So let's quickly look at Terry, and instead of going through the ins and outs, because I think she got like the main things you're looking for, let's look more around the overall messaging of having these different social media assets and how to go forward. With not so much extra work, if you know what I'm.
So what are your main focuses, Terry? Like you've sounded like you've got quite a few different things on the go. So what are your main?
What I'm narrowing down to is, of course, going into the coaching for women, the group coaching for women, but then I'm also doing business consulting. That's my two main focuses. But again, I've got a day job too that I also put information out about. But that's typically on my personal page.
Yeah. Speaking of personal pages, now here's another thing where there's two schools of thought, but what I would recommend for any and all of you is that if you don't already, make your personal profile public. Traditionally, what we have done is when we sign up, we make it, only friends can see what you post. But if you seriously want to use the power of social media and the free, because, I love organic marketing, so use the power of the free social media, then make your profile public so that all your posts can be seen by anybody. They don't need to be your friend to see what you're posting, because that gives you more power to connect with people and actually use social media for its purpose, which is to have conversations with your audience. It's a bit harder on your website. You're not really conversing with people. And on email you are, but it's slower. And that's the beauty of social media. So if you aren't posting things on your personal profile that you would hate for anyone else to see, and to be honest, if you are, stop. But if you aren't terribly a controversial person and there's nothing that you have to hide, I would recommend making it public, because it gives you, say that someone meets you at an event. These days, business cards are almost on the way out. People don't really do much. But the first thing they'll do is go and check you out on Facebook. And the first thing they'll find is your personal page or profile. So if they can't get in to see you because they have to make friends with you first, a lot of people won't bother. If they can see what kind of stuff you're posting and you've got a link to your website, for example, or a link to your business page, then they're going to go further. So you want to think about how you're using it in that sense.
Okay. Whoever's got that in the background, if you can mute.
It's me, unfortunately, so I can't mute.
Michelle.
My neighbour has decided to, they're laying tiles next door or something, and he's probably got the tile cutter going. I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. Well,
we'll do. All the windows closed already, so.
Oh man, that's really loud. Okay, let's see. So, can you just click through Terry's things really quick, and let's do. Wait. So I don't. We've got a couple of people who are. Michelle, if you could just go on mute for just a second.
Yeah, I will. Hang on.
Yeah. That's like.
So this.
Go ahead, Terry.
I was going to say the page you're looking at now. It's kind of something different. It's a nonprofit organization.
Mm-hmm.
The one that's probably the most pertinent on Facebook is the one that's the Terry R. Moten MBA that you see up there.
Can you click that, please, Michelle? But yeah, awesome.
Now that's the one. Like I said, I'm branded as a small business problem solver. That's more of my consulting page.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is I do have a lot of the ideal client on there, but it's also men that are on there. So if that's kind of the deal breaker, I'll just do a whole new page.
See, I don't think it is, Terry. I think that with Atia, I think hers are very different because one's a salon and one, although there might be some overlap, but with you, I think, if you pull out and have a VIP women's business group within this business thing, it's actually feels like a good fit. What do you think?
And I'll just I'll reword the stuff and
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's right. I agree with Benet that yours to me are much more similar. I think you could combine them, whereas with Atia, it's so different that they're two completely different audiences potentially. So,
yeah, Atia, did you have something you want to add in?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I actually think her allowing the men to be on there actually works for her because some of the men may want their wife to become, to get into what you're doing, to be a part of your coaching. So I think it keeps your doors open.
Yeah. And who knows, you might down the track, set up a men's group or a mixed group. Mm-hmm. So I think keeping it open is cool. I mean,
got it.
Yeah. Cause I mean, your knowledge is actually relevant to both anyway. Okay. Can we just look over at the other Facebook page, Michelle, please?
Yep. So that's this one.
Okay. Which is also.
Okay.
It's similar, but I'm even kind of coming out of that page because I've just got too much stuff going on, and I'm more trying to brand myself versus Moten Consulting Group per se.
Yeah.
Well, okay. See, I have something to say about that.
Okay,
go ahead.
My 2 cents worth. To me, there should be no difference. You're speaking about it like I'm either trying to brand my business or I'm trying to brand myself. For me, the absolute pillar. Because unless you are a big group, unless you are a big corporate yourself, it is yourself that you want to be branding. It is not your business. It's all about you. Because these days, because of technology and because of all the changes and all the robotics and all the artificial intelligence and everything else, people are absolutely craving a personal connection. So they really want who you are. So I think you could straight away combine these two. Because to me, that's and I think really focus on branding yourself and get it out of your head that you're branding your business because you're really branding yourself.
Exactly. And then the big reason I hit that was because 3 years ago, I was Moten Financial Services. And so, so that's why I'm trying to bring it all together. Moten. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Primarily. And then the Empowered Women group, that looked like that was a group for girls?
So it's women. It's women. And so I've got a friend and we're developing a nonprofit organization, but it's everything I do is about empowerment. I kind of call myself the fairy godmother of women's empowerment. So
cool. Okay. So and then you might want to have another group down the track, if it needs to be, or all of your business clients, your ideal clients for your signature program. Would this be a good fit for them to join us?
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we've narrowed it down to 2. Cool. Okay. Michelle, can you stop screen share and get us all back? We've got a couple of minutes just to wrap up. All right. So rare to have not heard from Renard at all during a whole meeting. I hope you got a lot of value out of everybody. I think I learn something every time I see Michelle give a critique on somebody else's stuff. I'm like, oh gosh, I got to do that. I got to do that. So thank you so much, Michelle. I'd just like to go around and instead of an acknowledgement today, I'd like to do what's your number one biggest takeaway from today. Okay. Just so Michelle can get that feedback and then we can kind of anchor that in as something that we're going to move forward with. So Sylvie, would you like to kick us off?
Okay, my biggest takeaway is on the website, you said that we had 5 seconds to capture the viewer's attention, and that was that space that is they don't have to scroll through. So that space is like real estate, and it's the very most important part. So that's my biggest takeaway.
Great.
Awesome. Thanks, Sylvie. Anik.
For me, it's exactly the same.
And so powerful stuff. Cool. So simple and yet so powerful. Terry.
My biggest takeaway, two quick ones. One was just the importance of integrating the social media, but sending people over to your website. That was a big takeaway for me. And the other is that I can start a newsletter with a few bullet points and start that now. I don't have to wait.
Awesome. Now, okay, Jay. We might come back to Jay. Atia.
I had so many big takeaways, but one of the main takeaways that I had was the importance of getting people to your website and keeping them on your website.
Yeah, cool.
That was definitely a big takeaway for me.
Thank you, Atia. Dwayne.
Mine's really fast was the wow words. I never really looked at it, but if you just step back and take a look at wow words, the words that your clients are using to draw them in, then that was definitely my biggest takeaway.
Awesome. Grady.
Big takeaway for me was to focus on getting people to my website. I think I'd do a great job of taking them to other websites, so the direction that they're traveling. And my other takeaway was get with Sylvie to learn how to do all the things on the Facebook page that I don't know how to do.
Go Sylvie. Renard.
I'd say a few things. First and foremost is the importance of content management, and then the integration of very, very specific language around social media, being very active in social media. And I'd say the other one is just really simplifying that website, just thinking you have 5 seconds to make an impression. That, and lastly, just driving all traffic to your website.
Yeah, that's a big one. Okay, and it looks like we've lost Jay, so he's we'll just have to, I don't know, hear from him next time.
We'll just assume that he got some takeaways.
Yeah. Okay, but there's a lot of consistency between the key messages, so that's awesome. Some things came through really loud and clear. Michelle, any closing words, remarks, advice from you before we wrap up?
It sounds like you guys are getting it anyway, but I always try and remind people that as much as I love social media, and I do, we all have to remember that all of that time you're spending on social media it's a tool. It's really easy to get lost in the social media experience itself, but got to keep in mind it's a tool to get people to your website, to get them onto your list. There's always a plan of action there. So if you keep that in the back of your mind when you're on social media being active, you'll get a lot more return on your time that you're spending there.
Awesome. Okay, everybody, let's give Michelle a big round of applause and a thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So I think Michelle might have a little bit of homework for you guys. I will be adding it into the marketing lesson. So I want to just leave you with that. And then Michelle will be coming on and facilitating. I'll be there too, but she'll be pretty much running the show next week and getting you through we're going to start with video. So it's a big week next week. Michelle, just what is the homework that you'd like everyone to do?
The homework's really simple, and it will make more sense now that we've talked through all this today. It's just a quick spreadsheet I've put together for you that's got a checklist of all the platforms that you're on and what I want you to be looking at for consistency. So I've got a whole lot of columns, and all I want you to do is go through and tick them off and say, yep, I've checked this. And it's things like we talked about, like, do I have a consistent photograph that I'm using across each of these platforms? Am I making the most of my opportunities for calls to action? That sort of stuff. So it's a very simple checklist that I want you to go through and just tick it all off and say, yep, I've checked all these platforms. If you don't use the platform, obviously, then don't fill in the boxes. And the only other thing is I think there's 3 accounts that I want you to get if you don't already have them, because we'll be using those tools as we go down the track. So I will stick those in the notes of, what they are, and just, if you don't have one, go make yourself a free account. So that's it. Not a lot of homework.
Excellent, excellent. And we'll be sure to, if you have for your social media questions in the Facebook group, tag Michelle if you've got any burning questions or anything as we go forward. And definitely hit up Sylvie for her tips on her beautiful business Facebook page. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you so much for bringing your online assets to this meeting and sharing them so that we can all learn and grow together. That's a wrap for today, guys. Happy coaching. And Michelle, if you want to stay on the line.
Will do.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.